Hey everyone, in this video we're going to go through the general form and how we can convert it to the form that we know, which is gradient intercept form. Okay, so general form, it comes in the form of ax plus by equals c. Okay, so something like this. Okay, where there's a coefficient of x, there's a coefficient of y, and there's a constant at the end. Okay, so just for terminology purposes, this here is your coefficient. This here is your coefficient of y. And this one here is your constant. Okay, so that's the general form. But when we see that form, we've got to convert it into gradient intercept form just so that we can find out the gradient and the intercept more easily, okay, instead of having to draw it every time. Okay, so this is your gradient intercept form. It is it should be very familiar to you. So y equals mx plus c, okay, where m is your gradient and c is your y-intercept, okay, your y-intercept. Okay, and it comes in the form of this. Okay, so in this example, our gradient equals 1/2, and our y-intercept, or c, our constant, is 3. Okay, now to convert it between each other, before we convert it, we should first know how to identify them. Okay, so in this example, we're going to identify each of these 4 equations, 1, 2, 3, and 4, into are they gradient intercept or are they in the general form. Okay, so number 1 is y equals x plus 6. Okay, this is in gradient intercept form because y is the subject. Okay, so that's probably the easiest way to do it. If y is the subject, it is gradient intercept form. So y equals x plus 6. Our next one, number 2, is minus x plus y equals 6. Okay, and the coefficient here, the number in front of the x is minus 1, x plus 1y equals 6. Okay, so this is in the form of general form. So we're going to put it in here. Minus x plus y equals 6. Okay, number 3 is 4y minus 5x plus 7 equals 0. Okay, this one here, it looks like it's neither, but this is actually general form as well. Okay, so as long as there is a coefficient in front of y and a coefficient in front of x and there's a constant, it is general form. So this one here is our general form. Okay, and lastly, y equals 5/4x. There's only a coefficient in front of x and there's no coefficient in front of y other than 1. Y is the subject. Okay, so this is gradient intercept form. Y equals 5/4x. Okay, so when identifying between the two, if the y is the subject, it is gradient intercept. If y isn't the subject and there are coefficients in front of y, then we have general form. Okay, now let's go through how to change between them. Okay, so rearrange the 2x plus 3y equals 6 into gradient intercept form. Okay, so this here is our general form, and we've got to change it into our y equals mx plus c. So to do this, we have to isolate the y variable by making it the subject. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in here. So we've got to move everything over to the right hand side, except for the y by itself. Okay, so here our 2x is positive, so I'm going to minus it on both sides to get rid of that 2x. Okay, so we'll be left with 3y equals 6 minus 2x, and because there is a coefficient in front of 3, in front of y, we're going to divide both sides by 3. Okay, so that now equals y equals 6 minus 2x over 3. Now, let's extend this question a bit further. What would be the gradient? And what would be the y-intercept? Okay, it might look a bit confusing at the moment, but what we can do is we can split this up and we can put both of these terms over 3. Okay, so we have that. Now 6 divided by 3 is 2, minus 2 divided by 3 is just 2 over 3, x. Okay, so our coefficient of x is negative 2 over 3. So our m is negative 2 over 3. And our y-intercept is going to be positive 2. So our c equals positive 2. Okay, so when putting this in the Google form, okay, just make sure that with the gradient, if it is a fraction, be careful of the negatives. Put the negative, don't put a space, and just put 2/3. Okay, and that should be the answer. If you have any issues, please use the private comments. And good luck with the questions.